Skis can be traced back to nearly 5,000 years ago. They can be found preserved in mud bogs in northern Russia, as well as found in ancient paintings as hunters and trappers using them as tools to traverse across the snow. Many people often, when they want to hit the mountain, have the question, should I ski or should I snowboard? I haven't been around for that long, but I've spent most winters of my life skiing, and I've done some snowboarding as well. Today I want to explain 3 reasons why skiing is better than snowboarding. Reason number 1 is skiing is just easier. Skiing is less taxing on your body, and skiing is more interesting when skiing in the backcountry. You can ask any person who has skied and snowboarded the question, which is easier, and they will always say skiing is easier. One reason why skiing is easier is because when skiing, you're in a natural position facing down the hill and both feet are independent, just as if you are walking. Versus snowboarding, you are forced to be in an unnatural stance, 90 degrees from going in your direction of travel, and this can often cause people to be uncomfortable, and it's just you're not as coordinated when in this kind of stance. There's a quote that many skiers and snowboarders like to say when asked this question. Snowboarding is harder to learn but easier to master, and skiing is easier to learn but harder to master. Here's a graph of difficulty versus ability level. The snowboarding curve is the orange curve and the skiing curve is the blue curve. So as your ability level is low, the difficulty level of snowboarding is really high. But as your ability level is low, the difficulty of learning skiing is really low. But as your ability level increases, the difficulty of skiing rises. And as your ability level increases, the difficulty decreases with snowboarding. Also, why skiing is easier than snowboarding is much of the time spent on the mountain, you are actually standing in chair lines, socializing on the mountain, and there's many actually flat spots at mountain resorts, and it's not all downhill. So when standing in chair lines, snowboarding, you always have to stop and take at least 1 foot out of the binding. You use your other foot to drive yourself forward, whether you're driving yourself forward to get in the line or at a flat spot. In skiing, you don't do anything, you simply stay in line and you're standing forward. Loading onto the chair is also awkward because you are standing 90 degrees from the chair versus skiing, you can sit straight down. Often this leads to also injury on chairlifts because snowboarders simply just can't stand straight to sit down. Snowboarders also have it harder on flat ground because they can't push themselves like skiers can. Skiers have poles and they can use it to drive themselves forward, and they can also do a duck walk where you just simply you walk kind of like a duck and you waddle and use your skis to drive yourself forward. So skiing has established itself as being easier, but it also has other benefits as well. Skiing is less taxing on your body. Both feet on a snowboard are attached to the same board. So this often makes you more uncoordinated, and it results in more wrists and ankle injuries than on skis. This was according to Mountain Warehouse. Statistics on injuries versus skiing and snowboarding. This is according to the Western Journal of Medicine. Here's a graph of percentage of likelihood of injury versus the injury type, for blue being snowboarding and orange being skiing. So for beginner skiers and snowboarders, you are 49% likely to experience an injury versus only 18% likely to experience an injury while skiing. Wrist injuries, you are 19% likely to experience a wrist injury versus only 2% likely to experience an injury while skiing. As well as ankles, 16% for snowboarding versus 6%. But there is one downfall to in skiing, and it can be seen here where you are 39% more likely to have a knee injury when skiing versus only 17% while snowboarding. Now this can be explained because on a snowboard, both feet are attached to the same objects, so there's no awkward twisting of your legs in opposite directions, where on skis, your feet is on an independent object, and you can have one leg twist one way and the other leg twist another way. This is where knee injuries are more common in skiers. But skiing overall is more, less likely to experience injuries, especially in the beginner stage, than snowboarding. So, not only is skiing less likely to result in injury, but skiing is also easier when skiing in the backcountry. Backcountry skiing is more interesting and overall just more fun in the backcountry than on a snowboard. One reason is because skis, when skiing in the backcountry, can be used to go uphill as well as downhill. When skiing at the bottom of the hill, you simply just have to put climbing skins on the bottom of your skis and you can climb up the hill. When you get to the top, you simply peel them off and you can ski back down. Snowboarding, you can't go uphill on a snowboard. You have to either pack alternate equipment and modes for transportation to climb up the hill. Now this can mean you're packing ski boots and skis just for climbing. You might be packing different boots to use with snowshoes. Either way, at the bottom of the hill, you have to climb with different equipment. When you get to the top, you have to change equipment, put your snowboard back on. When you get to the bottom, you also have to change back if you're skiing or snowboarding out somewhere. So skiing in the backcountry is just easier because you don't have to pack as much equipment and you're using your same skis for climbing uphill as well as going down the hill. So hopefully today you have came to the conclusion that skiing is better than snowboarding. We discussed skiing's ease compared to snowboarding, the likeliness of injury when compared to snowboarding, and that backcountry skiing is more well-rounded and convenient on skis than a snowboard. There may be opposing opinions to skiing, as in skiing being superior to snowboarding, but skiing is backed by 5,000 years of being a useful necessity as a tool, as well as just a means of recreation. And I have my note cards here. Note card number 1, note card number 2, note card number 3, note card number 4, and note card number 5. Thank you.